What's up, guys? This is going to be a little Vanguard teaching video. Basically, I've seen a lot of people have struggle with these, and I just want to spread the mechanics of it, okay? In order to complete the Vanguard room, you must first kill all 3 Vanguards, which will then dissipate the crystal blocking your exit. The goal with Vanguards is to be in a corner so that you only grab aggro from one Vanguard at a time. Each Vanguard is weak to its respective combat triangle. The Major is going to be weak to ranged attacks. So on screen, I have general DPS numbers for the different weapons available to you. The weapons to use against the Major Vanguard is as follows. You would use the Blowpipe as being the strongest weapon to use against the Major. Shadow would be right after. Then T-Bow, then your Bofa, and then at the very end, you have your crossbows. The Ranger is going to be weak against melee attacks, specifically the stab attack option. So the order of the weapons that you would use against the ranged Vanguard is as follows. If you have a Scythe, you'd be using that. If not, you would have a Fang. If you don't have that, you would be using a Lance or a Whip as your final resort. Now, the ranged Vanguard is a very good place to use your DPS spec weapons if you bring them into the raid. So for example, if you have a Void Waker, Dragon Claws, or even Burning Claws, this is the Vanguard to use them against. If you do have Burning Claws, please make sure to set them on stab before speccing so that you get the increased accuracy. The Meleeer is going to be weak against a magic attack, so just use your best powered staff. All of the melee options available are going to be worse than just their base trident, so please do not melee the melee Vanguard. If you have DPS spec weapons, feel free to use them against the melee Vanguard. As you can see, these Vanguards do have different colors. There's going to be 3 of them, melee, range, and magic, green, red, green, blue, respectively. That's going to be due to this Cox Additions plugin. So when you go to get it, type in Cox Additions, there's going to be 2 of them. It's going to be this one and then the Cox Timers Additions. This is the one you want, the one from Dio, Cox Timers and Additions. You can go in and set the different plugins how you like them. I left the Vanguard plugin as default, because I really enjoy the default settings. Tile markers aren't needed, but if you do choose to use them, these are the ones that I use. So I have the gray tiles for where the Vanguards are going to be positioned at. I have the black tiles of where to attack the closest Vanguard from. And then the white tiles are where to safe spot the Meleeer. I'll talk about this later on. Vanguards take a while to spawn in. This gives time for players to get into position. In coordinated teams, you'll often have the first person enter go to the far Vanguard spot. The second person enter goes to the next furthest spot, and then everyone else goes to the closest spot. After the Vanguards dig, the players can then rotate to the respective Vanguard that they're assigned. This is to prevent grabbing multiple Vanguards aggro by running through the room. As you can see, they are moving around. This is normal. So after a little timer runs out, they actually dig underneath and rotate to a different position. When this happens, you're either going to do one of 2 things. Most people in LFR are going to be doing the staying method. So they'll say stay or follow. Stay means you're going to be staying in your position and just swapping your gear to whatever Vanguard comes towards your way. If you're doing follow method, then you don't swap your gear and you follow your Vanguard to its new position. So it requires a little bit of running. So the Vanguards, they have this unique mechanic where they'll reset to full HP if their HP is too far away from the others. So right here, you see the HP bar above my head. Basically, the black bars are going to be where the other 2 Vanguards' HPs are at. The rightmost gray bar is going to be whatever the highest Vanguard's HP is at. So that will be the Major in this scenario because this is the highest HP. Okay, the leftmost gray bar is going to be the reset threshold. So if you damage past that, it will reset to full, just like here. It went past it, they're going to reset to full. For the ranger, it's a very common tactic to stand underneath it because it can't move. So I can actually turn range prayer off and it just can't hit me here, okay? Very, very cool. You cannot do this with the major because it will move out from underneath you, causing it to move towards one of the other vanguards, which means if you have teammates, they will get aggro. This is very, very bad to do. Both the range and mage vanguard's vision box moves with the vanguards when they dig. The melee vanguard is unique in that its vision box is tied to its initial spawn, thus changing the safe spots according to which of the 3 locations it initially spawned at. A very helpful tip for your team is to call the melee's initial spawn, in case they know how to utilize the melee vanguard safe spots. Oops, it's going to rotate up. So you're going to be standing here or here, doesn't matter. And you're just going to move down. This works no matter what position it spawned at because it will always see you at these tiles, always. And then once it sees you, you want to move down 1 so that it corner traps it because it's stuck against this wall. Very useful. Then it's going to the north spot, so you'd use these 2 tiles again. Doesn't matter which one, just whichever one you can get to fastest. And that's how you do the north spawn. So on the southeast initial spawn, you can just stand on this tile and it just can't hit you. All right, so for this one, see, just like I explained, it doesn't see me even though I'm right next to it, right? But all I have to do is that whenever I'm attacking it, you're gonna see it kind of back off and you just wanna move towards its initial spawn. So initially spawn there, I move to the right. If it was spawned to the top, I would move 2 tiles up. Okay, so in the southeast corner, it's not going to be able to see you just like this. Basically, you just want to keep its aggro on top of you just by stepping towards the north if it spawned north or to the west if it spawned west, which is why I go diagonal because it covers both options. Okay, so when the vanguard goes to the west side, you're just going to step here and then move down when it gets close. That way it's stuck behind this crystal. If the melee vanguard's initial spawn was north and you're trying to safe spot it in the southwest corner, you will have to stand on tile marker number 5 before moving to tile marker number 6. Very similar to the southwest initial spawn. If your team is not evenly divisible by 3, split the team up as evenly as possible on the 3 vanguards, with the least amount of players on the mage vanguard. In coordinated teams, you'll often see one person on the mage vanguard, half the people in melee, and everyone else on the range vanguard. This allows players to freely hit all 3 vanguards while taking very little or even 0 damage.